Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today we'll be doing a deep dive into Code Interpreter plugin. To start with, let's explore a few examples. The first example I'm going to show here is about an animation which was completely created using the Interpreter plugin. A few more examples include EDA about iris dataset, visualization about the incidents by the day of week and hour of day in SF, even information about exploratory data analysis. All of this was done purely using Code Interpreter plugin. And let's deep dive into what is possible. To begin with, I just wanted to understand a bit more about what are the packages installed in the environment which ChatGPT. So I started explicitly asking with information about importing Boost package and then asking it to provide explicitly what is the version of the XGBoost. In this case, it clearly mentioned that the environment already has XGBoost installed and the version is 1.4.2. Now, to take it a step further, I asked about transformers. Here, it kind of like politely answered that the transformer plugin is not installed. But if you want to install, you can go ahead with pip install transformer, right? It's also like clearly mentioning that please note that this command needs to be run in a local machine, not in this chat, as this environment does not have access to the internet. I just like was insisting it to do a bit more and try to install it itself. I said, can you please try installing that again? Even though it explicitly told that, and it clearly mentioned that I don't have access to the internet for security purpose and I can't do it. So to dig deeper, I was asking the plugin to tell me about all the packages where the possible transformer could be installed if it was already installed. And it explicitly told that, oh, my current folder is home/sandbox, which means that sandbox is the user that all the code runs on. It also told that the Python environment is 3.8. And what is interesting is it provides a path to where the packages are installed. So as a hack, what I did was I asked it to explicitly write a script to list out all the packages in a given folder. Now, as you can see, it started like providing a list of packages that are already installed. Like for example, TinyCSS2, OpenCV, Pydantic, SciPy, OpenPyXL, Babel, whatnot, right? So at this point in time, it provided around like 200 to 300 packages it had already installed, including scikit-learn, IPython, PSUtils, and more. So this gave an interesting data point or a segue in what I could try next. Now, I explicitly asked, okay, take a look at all the packages installed and provide me 3 different examples of how to use those packages, just to get an understanding of like what it's capable of. It provided a simple example of like how to create a pandas data frame and like even use matplotlib to chat certain things. But what I was interested in was in the scikit-learn. Here, it told that it could even like read weather.csv and could train a linear regression model. This was very interesting. Now, the next thing what I tried was I needed you to provide an example that can run in the current environment. So this is going or like rather scoping the problem to the packages that are already installed in the environment, right? You can see that the one of the example it provided was essentially building a k-nearest neighbor classifier on an iris dataset, right? So even though the code is very simple, I thought this was very interesting that it could even write the code, including like loading the datasets and whatnot. It gave the code, then I said, can you run the scikit example and provide the accuracy? If you look at this section here, it actually ran the code and it provided the accuracy of 96.6%, which is a pretty good start. Now, as an addition to this, I also explicitly asked the plugin to do an EDA on the dataset and provide some information about feature importance, right? First, it tried to do certain things. Looks like it was able to figure out that it didn't include the NumPy library. Then it actually apologized for that error that it forgot to import the NumPy library. And then it imported that package and then started building out the next remaining code, right? At the end of this EDA, it told that, okay, these are the 4 different features we have in the dataset. These are the target labels. And it kind of like provided a plot about like, okay, what is the relationship between each feature and the target variable? This is very powerful. Like many people, when they start with building any machine learning model, they always start with an EDA. And getting to the state with a few prompts is very, very interesting. You can say, I think it provided a bit more information about, okay, this EDA is performed on iris data set. How many number of rows are there? What is the min at 25th percentile? And so on and so forth. right? At the end, it also provided a table about the feature importance, which is very interesting. So that is how we can start asking more questions to the plugin itself and start understanding a bit more of what it's capable of doing, right? So in the initial stage, I was not aware that we could even build or write a ML model and do EDA. So that was something new to me. Let's see what else I tried. I tried to ask about like a few of the confusion metrics. I think it did that. I tried to ask about Plotly Express, but for some reason it says that it needs interactive environment and it couldn't do it, but it's okay. Now this is a very interesting data point. In this case, essentially what I asked it was to use Seaborn and the dataset to create a visualization or rather an animated GIF, right? I tried to say that, okay, Seaborn is a powerful library for creating static aesthetic graphs. However, creating animations such as GIF is not supported by Seaborn. Then it said, okay, even though it is not supported by Seaborn, it can be done using Matplotlib animation. And it started writing code for how to do it. I explicitly asked, can you create the animation so that I can download? It mentioned that I apologize for the confusion, but in the current environment we are using, we don't have the capability to generate and display animations such as GIF. But then the follow-up question was, but you already have FFmpeg installed. Then it told, oh, FFmpeg is a powerful tool that can be used to create animations and videos from a series of images or frame. However, the generation of individual frames still requires a live graphical backend, which is not available in this text-based environment. To see what was possible, I said, okay, don't be lazy. I know if you try harder, you can provide a working solution. Then it started cranking out some code. And as you can see at the end of it, it tried to use the dataset from a Seaborn library. However, the Seaborn library dataset actually tries to access the internet to download the dataset. And it mentioned that, okay, Node dataset tries to fetch the data from the internet, which is not available in the current environment. But instead, it knows that previously we used scikit-learn, and the scikit-learn itself has a dataset which included iris. So instead, let's use the iris dataset that we used previously using scikit-learn. So it's able to kind of correlate that the iris dataset was also available in scikit-learn and started using that. And this is the animation which it provided, right? It's not like a very fancy animation, but getting to the state using the simple prompts is fantastic. As you can see, you can download the GIF at this point in time. Then I say, okay, can you tell me more about what other datasets do you have access to in the current environment? It kind of like listed out all the scikit-learn datasets. So if you want to play around with that, go ahead and do that. Now, what else did I try? I tried for XGBoost, like same thing, same kind of like model using random forest, XGBoost, PyTorch and TensorFlow. What was interesting is even though the TensorFlow and PyTorch were installed, it was not able to build a model using that. I have to figure out like why this happened, and I can probably tackle it next time, but we'll get to it in the future videos. So here it actually shows the confusion matrix and whatnot, right? So yeah, I think like the tool as such is very, very powerful. So feel free to play around with that. And also like if you find anything interesting, do let me know and comment in the section below. I will also share the full workflow of like this ChatGPT, what I tried, so that you can play around with it and try yourself. Thank you, folks. And please do subscribe to the channel if you want to like see more of these videos. Thank you.